Imagine you have zero experience in making games. You know some programming stuff, but you are green in using Unity game engine. And you find yourself in the situation where in around 48 hours you have to make a game from scratch, and to make it worse you have 4 amazing people counting on you to deliver. You'll be probably terrified, like I was a couple weeks ago when I participated in my first real game jam, with close to none game dev experience. I mean really, all I did before was creating Endless Runner in Unity from the Brackeys tutorial and like Snake and Pong in C++. So how did I, computer science student with zero game dev experience, survive my first ever game jam? So it's 8th of March, International Women's Day, first day of my first game jam, organized by my university, PIATK, with collaboration of Northeastern University at Boston, as a part of the Dialogue of Civilization project. This jam's topic was Polish identity, as in history and culture. At 6 PM we got quickly briefed about the rules, topic and goal of the jam. So we are supposed to create a mock-up of ideas, few of which will be chosen to be developed further by the students from our universities with the supervision from the professional game developers and designers.
Professionals have standards.
I got assigned to Team Blue, where actually I was the only male, and this is the photo of all of us. After the introduction of the jam, we get to brainstorming ideas for the game. One of our first ideas was to create a clone of Candy Crush, but because it was a game about Polish culture, the twist was that instead of crushing candy, you would operate with pierogi and bigos, or other Polish traditional dishes. The second idea was to create a platformer, game similar to the Ratatouille, DreamWorks, but instead of the old rat, he would play as his Polish cousin in the dream world of flying pierogi. The other notable idea was to create building simulator, similar to the one in old Nokia phones, but in our version, you would rebuild Warsaw after the World War II. At this point, we had to decide if we want to make our game in 2D or 3D, and mostly because the second programmer in our team had more experience in 3D games and we had 3D artists who didn't have experience in 2D art, we decided to make our game in 3D. So we had to scrap our previous ideas and come up with something new. The idea that prevailed in the end was to create a potion maker simulator where you are an alchemist in the court of Polish king Zygmunt III Waza. And this is how the Breaking Waza was born.
Jesse, we need to cook.
Yeah, I know, it's super funny. We also have an idea to base it on the Reigns game series, where you have different options that will affect the storyline. So we had energy, which is analogy to the golden Reigns, mind analogy of the shard, strength analogy to the army, and harmony analogy to the people. So each ingredient added to the potion would affect the concentration of these 4 elements, either increasing or decreasing their levels. And the goal was to achieve balance necessary for the desired effects of the potion. We were super hyped with the idea, but it was getting kinda late, so we decided to go to rest before tomorrow. So now it's day 2 of creating our little piece of art. Let's say I was late.
Oh crap! I'm late! I can't be late for the first day!
The campus opened at 8 and I was there around 12, I don't remember. And to my surprise, we actually had a working prototype of our game. We had the main room where the game would take place, player movement, and a prototype of an interaction system. That, to be honest, I didn't even change that much in the final version. So our first problem was that we could not use the school computers. I obviously took my own laptop, just in case, on which I installed Unity the day before. But I had a problem. I could not create new projects, and to make it worse, even open the old ones. Fortunately, Jensen lended me her laptop that ran Unity smoothly like a butter. In real life that took like an hour until I gave up, but with the help of magic of video editing, we are now ready for some real work. And let me tell you, that work was intensive. At this point we had to decide how our game loop will work. After some time, the idea for the main loop looked like this. In our game, you make a potion by adding ingredients to the cauldron. The ingredients have stats that you have to balance to match with the ones that your quest giver gives you. Then we thought about some ideas for ingredients, and I made these beautiful UI mockups. The day went by mostly by trying to implement the different ideas and trying to make sense of Unity tutorials, and then fixing bugs that the YouTubers obviously didn't encounter. Don't even ask me how many times I forgot to put the object in the script field. The girls in the meantime worked on the art style and the balance of ingredient stats with potions. The day went by pretty fast and we also got kicked out of the university because the guards who had shift that day weren't informed that we would have a game jam happening till the late night. But we managed to add ingredients, have a prototype of the UI, kinda working game loop and interactions. So day 3, last day of the game jam, and I wasn't late this time actually, I was one of the first people on the campus. My plan for the day was to focus on finishing the UI and making the game loop from start to finish, and if I had some extra time, I planned to add sounds. At this point, idea for the game was that the player receives a quest letter under the door to his room. Then he makes a potion ordered by the quest giver, but before that, the player should decide if he wants to help the person or not. Basically, helping the right person would progress you to the good ending, and not helping the right person or helping the bad ones would progress you to the bad ending. Player would make this decision by making or not potion with correct stats. To brew the potion, player would wait by sleeping. I know that was a very clever idea to remove the need for extra animations and logic. I also had an idea to make end screens like in the Witcher series, and I think the girls made an amazing job with that. This day I think we made 80% of the work. I was really warmed up with using the engine and I didn't have to Google something every 5 minutes. And the girls were working hard to create these amazing graphics and lore for the quest letters and icons for the ingredients. And yet, after the campus was closed, I still had to take some work home, because there was still much work to do. The deadline was like around 6 am, but I managed to finish around 3 or 4 am. But yeah, we managed to do almost everything as we planned. And in these last few hours, I managed to add the UI that the girls made, make interaction descriptions, and add sounds. And yeah, this is a quite short and hearty reminiscence of my first game jam. I'm sure that I forgot many things and probably remember mostly the good ones. Also, I didn't mention the amount of sweets and crisps I ate during the game jam, and that was a lot. Thanks once again to my teammates for the amazing time spent building this project, and to the organizers for giving us the opportunity. By the way, our game was chosen for further development because the judges liked our idea for the gameplay, but our game were heavily roasted in the judges' feedback. You can play the game on the itch.io, link is in the description, although I know that it's kinda bugged. But I also heard from YouTube that you would love this video, so why won't you watch it? Until the next time, create some amazing applications.